This is MP Cards and Games. Yeah, I'm doing a deck profile of a Legacy format. It has some similar rulings to GOAT, but it's in the Synchro era, so you only have a 15 card extra deck, a bit like modern Yu-Gi-Oh, but you still have priority and stuff, and that's Edison format. We had at my locals a couple of weeks ago, we had an Edison tournament, but we've all been getting into the format. It's a format based in 2010, based on the last Shonen Jump Edison, and came out, and that event happened it happened after a ban list and just before a major set release. So after that set release, you have like Infernity and like X-Sabers be the best deck, but this format's really diverse because it's just when everyone's trying to figure out what is the best deck, and those decks don't have their full power cards yet from that set. So yeah, and there's a lot of cards that have been hit just before this, so a lot of cards that are ones of, and you don't have as many. You still have a couple of broken cards, but not as many as in GOAT format, where you like have Delinquent Duo, Graceful Charity, Pot of Greed kind of thing. So for that event, I decided to play Lightsworn. So I played 3 Raikou in main deck. Pretty nice card. One of the better ones in this format. 1 Lumina because it's at 1. It's at 1 in Edison format. I played 1 Aaron just because like it's good against putting something into defense, and still even in Edison format, people still do occasionally put stuff in defense mode, especially Raikou. So it's cool to shuffle them in the deck without triggering. 2 Lumina because back row removal is really good and really important in this deck, kind of thing. So I liked the 2 Lumina. Jaden allows you to attack. Allows you to just attack over like you can hit into Cyber Dragon kind of thing. 2100, pretty strong, kind of thing. And it's good. It's more names for JD. 3 Wolf. Kind of regret this. Think I should have bumped it to 2. Maybe 1. I still liked having at least 2 because sometimes I would mill 3, but then other games I'd draw 3. That's the problem with playing 3 Wolf. I'd usually side out one of these or 2 of them. So yeah. 2 Celestia. I think I only like procced its effect twice, but like when you proc its effect, it's pretty strong. But again, it's just another name. 2 JD, very strong card, but usually your opponent will try to stop this if they have an answer. But like, it's still cool. Yeah, usually this is the card they'll try to stop, but it's your boss card kind of thing. So like, very good card. 1 Plague Spreader because it's limited in the format. Again, we only play 2 JD because that's at 2, but Plague Spreader really good. One of your main synchro enablers. Card Trooper. It's one of the only cards that actually mills straight away in this deck at the moment, because in Edison format you don't have like some of the newer Lightsworns that like mill at the beginning of the turn, like Raiden I think is the one that does that. You don't have that in Edison format. That card didn't exist at the time, so like Card Trooper's only at 1 but still good for milling. Necro Gardener again also at 1 but a really good card 2 mil. Sangan for the search, especially for Lumina because Lumina's at 1, and a couple other good cards. I played this card super. Yeah, I played this card. It's all right. It has pretty beefy defense for the format, so sometimes it can defend itself, and especially in Raikou from the deck's pretty cool. I thought it was pretty good. 1 Gale, just another tuner. We only play 2 tuners in the deck, but it allows you to make a couple more synchro plays and can like out some stuff because it can lower attack. Honest, it's always a nice surprise card. It is at 2 in the format, but I only opted to play 1 because the main deck's pretty tight. I played 1 Cosmic Phantom of Chaos. Cool card. It banishes from grave copies effect. It comes in really useful when you mill your big guys like Chaos Sorcerer or JD or Dad. I played 1 Colossus. 1 Caius. I played 1 Caius. It was alright. It was just another dark target because we don't run too many of them, but it's a nice banishing card to tribute. Gore's really good. I love my Ghost Rare one, but yeah, really cool card. Punishes players that don't play correctly. But just nice protection, especially because we don't run many traps in this deck. 1 Tragodia, similar. Chaos Sorcerer, really good in the format. Again, only at 1 in this format, but it's one of your main payoff cards. Dark Arm, not as good as as JD and Chaos Sorcerer, it's hard to make in this deck. You can still make it, but I offered to side it out a lot of the time, but it was still cool when you could make it. It was still a blowout when it was made, for the most part. One charge, because charged at 1, it's the only other card that mills straight away in the deck, but half the time I end up milling the stuff I didn't want to mill. Your reinforcements, just to search a couple of the warrior ones. There's a couple of warrior Lightsworns in this deck, just some deck thinning. Solar Recharge, good, another kind of mill card, but you have to have a Lightsworn in hand, but half the time you'll like Brick with a Wolf, so like it's cool to draw one of those. Foolish, good, you just send Wolf or something else that's good. Gold Sark, because this format's a bit slower than Modern Yu-Gi-Oh, you can generally get the card you Gold Sark off, so like you can wait 2 turns usually, and it's really cool to do that to a JD, and then make your opponent go in panic mode. I liked playing 2-pot, even though pot's at 3 in the format, it's just too much at 3. 2 is a good number because even if you mill 1, you can shuffle more stuff in. It's good to shuffle the big guys, but sometimes you do the little guys as well. 2 Monster Recarnation, I don't have a Beckoning of Light, or I would have played one of those instead, but just good to add like your power cards back, like your JDs or your Chaos Sorcerers or your Dad. But it can also add some of the like littler stuff like Lumina Light, especially if you got like a Wolf in hand. Brain Control, still nice. Take a tuner or take just one of their monsters. Then for the back row removal, played 1 Heavy Storm, 1 Giant Trunade, 1 MST because we just want to get rid of that back row so we can summon our JD. We only played 2 traps in main, and that's Torrential Tribute and Trap Dust Shoot. Torrential is just a good blowout card and chainable to a summon. This is just good to draw turn 1, and is a good card because knowledge is power. You get to see your opponent's hand, so that's the main deck. For the extra deck, I played 1 Chimera because some people were playing like gadgets and playing like Side Dragons and stuff, so it's really cool against any machine deck. 1 Allied Justice Catasta, interesting to make. Gaia Soldier. This one actually had some plays with another card later. Arcanite, you can make it. You can just make this. Brio is pretty good. One of the other ones I made quite commonly. When I did get Plague Spreader or something in a level 4. Good pitch. I did play a Go-Go Guardian, but I currently don't have a copy. I was borrowing it off a mate because I've lost my old copy of Go-Go. Black Rose, pretty good, but like don't think I even made it. In testing, I made Ancient Fairy. It's pretty interesting in the format. Never made this. This was just another synchro. Stardust comes up sometimes. Not as much in this deck, but like decks with Starlight Road. Hot Dreg Ragnarok, just big boy. I actually made Colossal Fighter once or twice, and it's actually pretty good because it can revive itself, but it can also like revive Gaia Charger and stuff. Like you can sync into this, so it's a really cool synchro target and pays off, especially when you have quite a few warriors in your grave already. Then for the side deck, I was playing the 2 Cyber Dragon for Chimera Tech, and it's pretty beefy in the format. I was trying something interesting and trying to add a little bit of a tribute engine to kind of my thing, so tribute Lightsworn kind of thing, by adding another Caius and a Treeborn in the side deck, but I don't think I ended up, I think only putting Treeborn in once. Solar Recharge against the Mirror or against any Dragon decks kind of thing. Econ against like Glad Beast to stop them from attacking. Cold Wave, I would have mained this, but I only had a fake copy at the time. I had ordered 2 off TCG Player, and they didn't come until after the event, because I also had half a Glad Core ordered off TCG Player, so I did play a fake in the side deck, and I asked my opponent if they allowed it, because some other people had proxies, just because some people just didn't have all the cards from this old format. So so if they said no to Cold Wave, I would put in Jinzo, kind of thing. Then for more back row removal, I have 2 Dust Tornadoes, and then 2 Raw Decree. And then 1 Shadow Imprisoning Mirror. I only own 1, kind of thing, but pretty good against other decks. And like you play a couple darks, but like if you're versing like Blackwings or something, they definitely play more. Return. This was just experimental. I was going to main it, but ended up not having enough room in main. And felt like it wasn't the best thing in main, but I was feeling like if my opponent was going to banish a lot of my stuff, this would be a cool card, like if they're playing like Caiuses and stuff, like if they're playing a Monarch variant. And 1 Mirror Force, because we don't main it, so like sometimes when siding this in, this actually did come in clutch one time when my opponent didn't think I had it in the deck, so they got rid of all their spell and trap removal, and then I activated on them. Yeah, I ended up coming third in the event, which was cool. But I think I ended up going 2-2 kind of thing. Lost 2-1-2. It was a fun event. Format's pretty interesting and requires a lot of skill and stuff. Sometimes luck, that's why I played this as well. Like I said, I was going to play Glad Beast, but I didn't have half the stuff in time. But this was pretty fun, and this you got to get lucky in, but like there's still a couple of skill moves you got to do. I did misplay one time and didn't activate JD, and that lost me the game. Because I didn't want to be... I did activate JD, but I don't think I activated enough times or whatever. I didn't want to be too greedy with the life point payments, and that ended up killing me, kind of thing. But yeah, this is MP Cards and Games signing out.